All right, guys. So a friend of mine was trying to figure out how he can make more money without really changing anything. I'm like, well, one of the easiest ways to make more money with your program is to just charge more. All right. So let's talk about some of the instances where that may come into play where you don't have to change too much. Right. So number one, undercharging. So for me, until recently, you guys know my prices were like rock bottom relative to the rest of the market. The rest of the market was charging 5 and 6 times more than I was charging. For me, I charged that little because I was improving the software. So for me, it was important to get more people in so I could get feedback. I could see what they were using the tools for, and then I could implement and add more features, and I could build out my language model and everything else. You need something to build all of that stuff on. So for me, it was information that was more valuable than the money. So I was willing to lose a shit ton of money in order to build this and make it better for the long haul. So I wasn't playing a short game, I was playing a long game. So therefore, after building all this stuff out, I was able to raise my prices. Now, let's say you already have the value, it's already there, right? So the value hasn't changed, the proposition is good, you're not being competitive in that market. You're like, damn, like I'm doing all of this stuff and I'm still not making as much money. Well, if you add more value, right? Like for me with the software, I added more value to the AI OnlyFans model, space with the software. I'm literally the only company with my own software, right? So whenever you see, ads for other people, I know the software that they're using and that shit's fucking jank because they don't own it and they just pawn people off, and it's more expensive than mine, by the way. So I was able to raise my prices. I'm not even as high as the competition. I'm actually lower, but I'm providing more value. So if you want to make more money, but not necessarily price yourself out of the market, you can add way more value than everyone else, come in underneath them and essentially steal all the market share. Pretty smooth, right? Or if you don't want to do any of that, you want to add more value, whatever, you feel that your proposition is good, your offer is good, just fucking raise your price. Just look at the market and say, all right, well, these fuckers are charging, I don't know, 20K and you're only charging 6. Like, all right, just raise your price the fuck up and start charging what your offer is actually worth. I mean, if you've done all of those things, then you should be charging that, right? Because that's what the market dictates, right? The market sets value, no matter how you want to look at it, whether it's for people or things or whatever, the market tends to set that value. So, look at the market and go from there. I mean, that's what the fuck I did. I already knew my shit was too low, I was undercharging, but for me, it was the information that I gained. And then in turn, I wanted to make sure that I added even more value before I raised the prices. And here you are. So the prices have been raised and things are going better. And this is something that you guys need to understand. So when you're catering to people that don't have a lot of money, generally those are the people that cause the most headaches because they're giving you their last like $300, $400, $500 and they're expecting a Hail Mary. People that tend to have the money, when you move up market into the high ticket space, when you're paying thousands of dollars for information or service or whatever, those people don't complain near as much. They're like, all right, cool, just make sure it gets done and that's it. And they leave you alone. People that you're charging $200-$300 for, like that's their last bit. So everything has to work and they're going to annoy you the most. So you don't want to do that. You always want to have a higher ticket offer because you can make more money doing that. Solving rich people problems is way better than solving broke people problems. Solving broke people problems or low ticket problems will never make you a ton of money right off the rip. You need a really big brand or you need to dump a ton of money into marketing or whatever to make that work. So always shoot for high ticket first. And what's high ticket? Usually people will say it's anything over $1,000. I would really say anything over like $2,500, like that's going to be considered high ticket because people have to think about that. So you have to present your offer in a way that says, hey, I can solve your fucking problem and this is how I'm going to solve it, right? So those people typically have a specific problem that they're trying to solve and your offer should be able to solve that. Like anyone who's below that like $1,000 mark, they're paying for information, but they're never really going to utilize it anyway. And then you're going to get chargebacks and all this other shit. The people that are paying, big ticket, 2,500, 5 grand, 10 grand, whatever, they're more concerned about results. They have the money to spend, so they're not going to panic if something doesn't go right. And they're not going to, beg you to hold their hand the whole time for fucking $297, right? So keep that shit in mind when you're building out, your offers and prospects and stuff like that.